Hi, it's Mr. Gibson here. I've got a Fusion 360 tutorial for you. We're going to build a bubble wand. This tutorial is appropriate for years 11 to 13. So we're going to start by creating a sketch, and I want to sketch on the horizontal plane. And we're going to use center diameter circle off the origin and enter 30mm diameter. And we'll take another center diameter circle off the same point and enter 38mm diameter. And that will give us a ring, 4mm wall thickness, so we can finish that sketch. Now we want to extrude that ring, so we use the extrude tool, select the ring, and enter an extrusion distance of 3mm. Now we want to build some features onto this ring, so the next sketch I'm going to produce will be onto that ring surface. So I create sketch and then select the top surface of that ring to sketch onto. And we're going to use the line tool to produce some radial lines off the origin. So we'll have one vertical and we'll have another somewhere close to it. And we can use the sketch dimension to select both of those radiuses and drag out an angle dimension and enter an angle of 5 degrees and finish sketch. So the next thing we want to do is extrude that small area here, so we can select extrude and select the area that we want to extrude. We want to extrude upwards and downwards, so in this direction drop down we can select two sides. So upwards we want to just extrude 3mm, but we want the same feature on the bottom of this ring, so we need to extrude downwards the 3mm, that's the thickness of the ring, plus the 3mm of the feature. So we'll go for 6mm extrude. Now Fusion thinks that we want to cut extrude this, thinks we want to cut a hole in the part, so we need to tell it in operation here that we want to join our feature to our part. Okay, so that looks good, we can OK it. And we have one new feature. Now that looks a little bit harsh to me for a bubble wand, so I just want to soften the feature up a little bit. So we'll use the radial tool or fillet tool and select 1, 2, 3, 4 edges and apply a fillet of 1mm. Okay, so that looks a little bit more like it. So the next thing we want to do is we want to repeat that feature all the way around this ring. So we can select the feature using a selection box and then use pattern tool and circular pattern. So we've got our 10 objects selected. We need to select the axis that we want to rotate around. So we're going to select that vertical axis, and we're going to say we want 36 copies of that feature. Okay. And that completes the head of the bubble wand. So the next feature we need to produce is the arm of the bubble wand. So we can create a sketch and select the vertical plane this time. Now we need to make sure that we're making this feature symmetrical across this axis here. So I think the best way is to use 2-point rectangles off the origin. And we'll extrude both of those rectangles to be 3mm high and 2mm wide. So there's one, and there's another one, 3mm high, 2mm wide. But we want to soften the handle a little bit, so we'll stick a couple of fillets in the corners So if we apply a fillet at say 1mm in each of those corners, that looks fine to me, so we can finish that sketch. Let's have a look at what we've got. Okay, so to produce the arm we want to extrude that sketch. Use the extrude tool, select both of those areas, and then again we need to, in the direction drop down, go to two sides. So let's extrude the first one by 75mm, and what we want to do with this end is just drag it until that end sits within the thickness of the head of the rubber wand. Again, it's defaulted to operation cut, so we want to tell it to join those two parts. Check what you've got. I like it. Hit OK. So the last part of this model is the handle. So we need to create a new sketch, and of course we want to sketch on the horizontal axis, and I think we'll go for an elliptical handle. So if we use the create drop down and choose an ellipse, I don't want to give you dimensions on this, you can make this up as you go along. So select, the first click is to select the centre of the ellipse, and our first ellipse I'm going to just take it just shy of the end of that handle, and that's the major axis, and then we want to go not quite round, and that's the minor axis. Okay, and then we can repeat that, and this time we want to go just past the end of the handle on the major axis, and maybe make it not quite an even wall thickness, gives it a little bit of extra. Okay, so if you're happy with that, you can finish sketch, and of course we want to extrude that, so we use the extrude tool and extrude in the downward direction 3mm. Operation join. Okay, so I quite like that. I would be tempted in the CAD model to put a radius around this edge and this edge, soften it up to match the handle, but I'm going to 3D print this part, and we're going to get a cleaner print if I leave that with sharp corners. So it's up to you. You could apply fillet to all those edges on the handle if you prefer. Okay, everyone. Good luck with that. See you another time.